This is my office cat, Penny. Hi. She's really sweet. She's having a lot of trouble eating though. We've really tried a lot of different things. She's on appetite stimulants, and what we found is she is what we call a social eater. So she eats better when you spend time with her. So you can see she's very social and very affectionate. So there's a couple things that you can try if you have a cat like this at home, or if you're working with one like this at the shelter. So one of the things that you can do is, if they're a social eater, you can kind of make a big fuss about their food. Do you want some foodsies? What do you think? We'll shake it, and then I can put a couple kibbles. Hi, what do you think? Do you want a couple kibbles in here? What do we think about that, huh? And then you gotta kind of point to it, make sure they know it's there. What you think? Come on. So that's one thing you can try. She wasn't interested in that. I don't like to leave any food in their bed, so I'm gonna make sure to pull all of that away. All right, another option is we've got a little squeeze treat, and you can put a little bit on your finger. What do you think? And try to hand feed. What do you think, huh? You like that? Oh, good girl. I know. That's food you gotta eat. You gotta eat. And so while you're working with them, you just want to keep talking softly to them. You can use their name. What do you think? Do you want that? No? Doesn't want that? Okay, that's okay. So she was kind of smacking her lips a little bit, licking a lot. So to me, she might be a little nauseous, or that smell is a little overwhelming. So I'm gonna go back to dry food. One thing you can try. This would be if you're part of our enrichment program here, you might have access to Fortiflora or in foster care. So this, sometimes cats really like the smell and taste of it. And it's like, I call it sprinkles. Look, what do you think? Do you like that? Is that num nums? What do we think? So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on. What do we think about that? And then bring it in and see. Oh, you want some Fortiflora? Eat your food. Come on, eat your food. She ate some of this yesterday. What do you think? I think she's a little freaked out because of the Good job. Okay, so she's eating the kitten chow with a little bit of the Fortiflora sprinkled on. And some of these guys, when you're visiting with them, they can be so enthusiastic about you visiting them that they just get distracted. They're so excited to have some company, they don't really know what to do. So you kind of have to redirect them and remind them to eat. So you could do that by shaking the bowl, or going back and kind of pointing to it, picking it up, putting it down. And she ate a good amount just then. The important thing about cats is you want to give them a lot of choices. So I wouldn't want to put Fortiflora in all of her food, because she might get sick of it, or it might be a cat that doesn't like it. So I'm just going to put a little bit in one food tray and make sure she has plenty of choices. And once she's done with this, I'm not going to leave the food in her bed, because that can be really stressful for them to not be able to get away from the food, especially if they're a little nauseous. So you can see right now she just tried to bury it. So to me that says she's had enough, and I'm going to take it out. She can still have access to this tonight, but it's just not right in her spot. Okay, one of the another thing you can try is obviously some treats. So most cats know this sound. What are you doing? Are you hungry? Again, I try to make kind of a fuss about it. Watch it, this is num nums. You want your num nums? Eat your num nums. Eat your num nums. Good girl. Good girl, what do we think? Oh, you gotta eat your num nums. Come on. Eat your food. Good girl. Good girl. So she's kind of a perfect example. She's very fussy. She's having a really hard transition. She's even in an office, but is still not eating well. So she's a cat that you really have to spend some time with. She's definitely a good example of a social eater. So another option, just like the Fortiflora, is you can sprinkle a little catnip on top of their food, especially both with the Fortiflora and the catnip. You kind of want to see what they think of it first. What do you think? You seem in. What do you think? Do you like that? Is that num nums? Oh yeah. So I can, again, I'm not gonna put this in all of her bowls, but I can have one bowl where I sprinkle a little bit of catnip in there, And if she's interested and she might want to eat some of the catnip, and maybe she'll eat some of the kibble too. What'd you think? Yeah. So this is just an option that I would leave in her room for her. Okay. So I've had a little time with Penny. She's had a little TLC. I got her to eat a little bit, which is great. So now when I'm ready to leave, so you can think of this as if you were doing this in foster care or if a cat is in a room, I don't want to leave all of her food. She's got lots of options, which is great, but I don't want to put them so close together. She might find one of these flavors really offensive. She might not like it, particularly the canned food right next to the dry food. So for a cat that's not eating, we know that they get nauseous. This food setup is just way too overwhelming for her. So I like that she has options, but I'm gonna spread them around the room. So I'm gonna make sure there's a few on different levels. And I'm gonna make sure the canned food is in a completely different spot than the dry food. So I might just plop it here. She's gonna come out at night and she's gonna be able to find her food. I'm not worried about her not being able to find her food. And then again, I'm gonna separate out her water from some of her other food. And if I know that there's some that she's definitely not eating, I'm just gonna get rid of them before I leave, again, so it's not so overwhelming for her. All right, so I've separated out her food and she's had some nice individual time and she's feeling pretty good, huh? So I know that she didn't eat that much, but just this individual attention and companionship that we had, this nice little time that we had together, that's really gonna go a long way for these guys. So you have a good night, Penny. All right, so this is my office cat. What is your name?
Oh my God.
What's your name? All right, start again.
Penny, you're so happy with your food? Are you marching? Penny? Oh, honey.